guys, welcome back to another episode of Normalising Life. Today we have got a special episode, our first one with a guest on. So who are we going to have on today, Rob?
We have Fraer Morrow, Olympic weightlifter, female Olympic weightlifter who is top of her game and hoping for a big future.
Yeah, I met her when they did the opening at the Blackwall Fitness Gym, and we did like a training session together. And my God, like she's so strong for a size. Like yeah. She's tiny. Like her Instagram's Freya 55 kilo, isn't it? So yeah. She's like 55 kilo and she's putting some silly weight above her head for her weight, like nearly doubling her weight. I bet she can actually double her weight, can't she?
In her cleans? No, not yet. I think. Oh, she did get 110. I think she did. Yeah. But we'll talk to her here anyway, and we'll get to know her a lot better. So introducing Fraer Morrow. I hope you like it. I am here with Fraer Morrow.
And me. Come on, mate.
And,
don't forget about me.
It's not really as important. But yeah, we've been talking with Freya. Well, I've been talking with Freya since we started Hybrid Academy, pretty much, and got to know her a bit more. And every time she puts up an Instagram post, I'm just baffled at how she does it. But yeah, introduce yourself, Freya, and let everyone know who you are.
I'm a Team GB weightlifter. I've been training in weightlifting for about 6 years, I think it is. I think it was a year and a bit maybe in CrossFit, but I was a gymnast for 10 years as well. So I've always done some type of sport, because that's really the only thing I'm good at.
Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we met at that Black Wolf, the Black Wolf gym opening. And I just saw you doing your session there, and it was just crazy. Some of the numbers you're putting up for your sides is insane. But
she wasn't sure.
Not just like we were there. It was like a cordoned off a little bit of the gym where we could all work out, and like everyone else were just kind of just watching us work out.
Stood in like your eye line as well, and I was like, I don't want to stare you out while I'm lifting. It's so awkward.
It was funny. It was a good day though. It's a really good gym, that Black Wolf. But all gyms are shut at the minute, so
yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, crap. Well, saying that, Freya, you've got a pretty good setup in your garage, don't you?
Yeah, I have. It's small and it's freezing, and I'm not allowed a heater in there because apparently it costs too much. Because I think if I did have a heater in there, I'd literally have it on for my whole session. Yeah. I wouldn't be like, oh, it's warm enough now. I'd just keep it on.
That shows such determination and willpower, though, to go down in the garage and train in the freezing cold, and like it's.
What makes it harder as well is doing the Olympic lifts. Like, doesn't really warm me up. The only part that warms me up is actually doing my accessories at the end of the session, because they're more like bodybuilding, so it's like it's more reps. And I usually like superset them as well, so it's like one after the other. A little bit of a break and then back into it. So that's the part where I'm warm, and then I'm like, well, I finished my session now.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's good to see like determination. Like I find it so hard to get motivated going to your home gym. Like it's in your own house. I like the aspect of going to a gym and training in a gym, like going out of your way to do it. So
yeah. Well, my garage is like, it's not a bit of a walk. It's like we have to walk around the street to get to it because it's like at the back of our house.
That's even worse.
So it's like snowing outside at the minute as well, and I'm like looking at it like I really don't want to go outside.
I seen you training shorts the other day as well.
Honestly, I stepped outside and I was like, I regret this decision so much. But because it is a walk back to the house, I didn't just want to like walk back to the house because I knew I just wouldn't do my session, because I realised how nice and warm and cozy it is, and I wouldn't want to go back out. So I was like, just stick it out, get it done with, and then just come in and get a nice bath.
Do you not feel like it takes absolutely ages to like actually warm up and like mobilize before your session? Because one of the things I hate when it's cold, I hate winter, is like I've got to spend 15 minutes on the Stairmaster or treadmill before I can even fucking do anything.
Definitely, yeah, it's horrible. Like there's still people out running in it, and I just don't get how.
Why?
Like it's so crazy.
Okay, well, we'll start the podcast off with a day in the life of Fraer Morrow. What's your get up time, and what's your go to bed time, and what's in between?
Yeah, I like to get up around 7:30, 8. at the minute, because of lockdown, I seem to want to stay in bed a bit longer. So I'm trying to not like punish myself or make myself feel bad just because I want that extra like half an hour just in bed. But then I do, because I am a morning person, so I like to get up and get everything done.
Yeah.
But lockdown's obviously just thrown everything off.
Oh, it's hard to get up during lockdown. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Through the week, it depends if I've got a double session or not. So on a Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, I have double sessions. So I usually train in the morning and then in the afternoon. If I'm not training in the morning, I usually get some of my revision done because I'm doing my level 3 personal training qualification. So I'm either doing that or catching up with clients on my online weightlifting coaching thing.
So you coach in that as well? You coach on your online and you're doing
So I've got my weightlifting level 1. Hopefully I'm trying to get in for my weightlifting level 2, but I really struggle with all the online stuff, as in like getting a qualification online.
Yeah.
I would rather go to a workshop, get it done, and then I've got it.
Yeah, what you mean.
And obviously there's no competitions at the minute anyway, so it's not like I'd be taking any of my clients to any competition soon.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I was in college, I did my fitness instructing level 2, and then decided that, well, I might as well get my level 3 while we're in lockdown, not actually doing anything. Like, I don't know if I actually want to use it yet or use it straight away, but obviously it is another qualification behind you for when obviously weightlifting isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah. How long is the weightlifting course? Because I know the CrossFit one's the same idea where you can just get CrossFit. You don't have to get personal training before. You can just go straight to the CrossFit. But is it the same idea as a 3-day course or whatever?
Yeah. So the weightlifting level 1 that I did, it was just a weekend thing. I think it was like 2 days actually. So like a Saturday and a Sunday.
Yeah.
But this personal training one that I'm doing, they give you like a year to complete it, but I'm hoping to get it done in less than a year. Because you can get it done in less than a year. It's just obviously because you can do it online, people usually are still working full time beside, like on the side of doing the course.
Yeah, I did mine. I did 2 units in an evening on mine. I mean, my background in physio meant like the anatomy physiology bit was like a breeze, but it was like when I did my level 3, I just blasted through 2 of the units in one evening. It was just the practical stuff that it took me ages to get around to actually filming that. That's
what I'm probably going to struggle with as well. Like the anatomy and physiology isn't as like I find it hard to remember words, and I'm not really good at speaking or reading. So
you're speaking to the right guy. Adam has got like he's like the king of dyslexia.
It was like when me and Rob try and like we chat in our messenger. He's just like, what are you saying? Like that just doesn't make sense.
I know what I'm saying, but someone else won't have a clue what I'm trying to explain.
Adam's texting me, and I think I just suddenly get dyslexia reading his messages.
Yeah, so like they say it's surprising about elements of the anatomy in that course that it's actually wrong. Like it's like I've got a degree in physio, so it's like that bit is like my level of knowledge on the anatomy is kind of next level of what you need from a PT qualification. And there's just stuff in the actual anatomy part of the course where I'm like, I'm definitely right. And I got that question wrong, but I'm definitely right.
Yeah, I feel like that's what happens on personal training courses. And I feel like at the minute, literally anyone can go out and get the level 3 personal training if they put the mind to it. It's crazy how many PTs are actually out there.
Yeah,
and how many PTs are like doing everything wrong, and it's just, oh my god. Stop.
No, I don't think that's the thing. It's been book smart. Like loads of people at uni been book smart and then actually practically smart. And it's like I'm sure you are an Olympic weightlifter. Like you know how to do it. So when it comes to these elements, you're gonna be better at it because you're good at it already. Rather than someone learning the theory and trying to put the theory into place, but not actually knowing the practical element of it. That's like a rabbit hole that I could talk to for ages about PTs and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is Freya's podcast, not yours.
Yeah, I'll be quiet again.
So obviously a big part of any sort of athlete is diet and nutrition. What do you say about your diet and nutrition? Is that on point?
Not on point. Like, I don't think anyone's is on point if you was to go off what people like should be eating.
Yeah.
But I have a nutritionist, so they work out like, sometimes they work out my calories, but sometimes they'll work out the macros, and then whatever their macros work out as, that's the calories that I just end up having. So I've been with them for like 2 years, I think it is, maybe just over. But before that, I was so bad. Like,
Really?
honestly, I think what made it worse was I lived at home, and then like my mum's a nutritionist as well, but obviously you don't listen to your mum, do you? Like she's got a qualification, but she doesn't actually know what she's talking about. So when I was at home, like doing CrossFit and stuff, obviously doing CrossFit, you can get away with eating more than what you should be doing anyway, because you just burn it off. And we're doing 2 CrossFit sessions a day, most days. And then when I started weightlifting, I ended up putting like 6 kilos on. And like I didn't really notice it, but like I knew I was getting a bit like chubby. And looking back at pictures, at the time I thought, oh, I'm a weightlifter, I'm a CrossFitter, like I'm strong, I can do whatever. But looking back at pictures now, I'm thinking, why did I ever think looking like that was good? Like that weren't good. And then I moved to Loughborough to train like full time, if you want. And obviously because like my parents weren't there, it was kind of a way of like, oh, I've got like free reign of what I'm buying for food. And I knew a bit about nutrition just from like what my mum had told me and stuff, but it's actually hard to put it into place when you are like 17 years old. But since then it is better, it's loads better, and I'm eating virgin fruit and stuff now, so
I've seen you work before. And so your nutritionist gives you all this all the information. Do you actually read it, or you just do what they say, or do you actually know what calories you're on? Are you in a surplus at the minute, or
no, I'm actually trying to put weight on at the minute.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's happened to me. I don't know if it's lockdown, but over Christmas I got ill, really ill. I got tonsillitis, and I don't know if you've ever had it, but you can't eat, you can't drink, you just can't talk. It's the painfulest thing ever. And I ended up actually losing 2.5 kilos, which wasn't fun over Christmas. Like watching everyone eat and drink. Yeah, like you're supposed to put weight on over Christmas.
Yeah.
I did. I put enough on for both of us. Don't worry.
No, I put plenty on. Yeah, plenty there.
So, like, I am fully better now and everything, but my body just seems to not want to put the weight on. Like I'm on, I think it's around 2,000 calories at the minute. And it'll probably keep going up because I'm just not putting the weight on. Like I could compete right now. I'm under 55 kilos.
Yeah.
Which like I never am.
Are you as strong as you need to be for the competition?
Not yet. Like luckily I've got 5 weeks of training. So like I'm still doing well at the minute because I have got 5 weeks. My percentages aren't that high. And like they are feeling a little bit heavier, but it is probably because it's freezing outside and I did have 2 weeks off. So I don't think like it's the weight that's affecting me because I am actually eating the calories. It's just the weight that's not going back on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Well, at least you got it on key now. Like 5 weeks, is it online competition you have coming up, or?
Well, I was supposed to be flying out to France for the competition.
Ooh.
But it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah. What date is it supposed to be, sorry?
It's between the 13th and 15th of February, I think.
Oh, it's going to be right hit or miss, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very close to the line there.
Like I've not heard anything yet, but it's probably not going to go ahead.
I don't think they'll tell you. A lot of competitions that I've either been to or entered and coming up, it usually a week or two before they cancel it because they want to just build up all the anticipation they can, build all the sort of publicity they can, and then a few weeks before cancel it, postpone it, so they'll have all the people that were going to go to keep going and then sign up for whenever it's going to be. On to.
But that's really crap for like you guys as athletes, like prepping and kind of peaking for competition. It just throws everything off, doesn't it? So it's
well, the thing is, like this competition, I kind of have to do it no matter what. So it's a Commonwealth Games qualifier competition. So it has to be done if I want to try and qualify for the games anyway.
Yeah.
It was just a bonus that I was flying out to France to do a competition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. But do you reckon that there's a chance of them changing it to online, maybe?
No, because the French competition is one of the lifting league competitions.
Oh, so it has to be weighed out perfect and all that sort of stuff. Oh.
Yeah. And it's like teams competing against different teams. So, like, usually everyone's in France because they're all French. I'm just the only like English person.
All right.
I'm
you
on
a
a French
team?
team. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I'm on a French and a German team. I've actually got a German weightlifting passport.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you
Basically
speak
German.
any other language?
How does that work then? Like, what's your kind of heritage then that allows you to do that?
Not really, they just asked me.
They
And
just
then I
asked
had to
you?
get I had to get permission off German Weightlifting Federation and the British Weightlifting Federation. And obviously they were going to say yeah. So yeah, they're really fun competitions
Do you speak
to
any
do.
other languages? No.
No, I'm so bad. I can't speak anything. I
Oh,
really
don't
wish
worry.
I
I've been
could
living
though.
away for 3 years and I still haven't a clue.
I'm just confused at how that worked then, because you're like British, aren't you? And like, how does that work with being a, like, is it just like say Premier League rather than the countries kind of thing? I don't know.
Yeah, so it is leagues.
Yeah.
It's the Bundesliga. They have it in football as well.
Right. Okay. So,
They have it in quite a lot of sports actually. But I think on each team you are allowed two international lifters. It can be from anywhere in the world,
right.
I think.
Okay.
Or I think it's got to be Europe because they are European. Yeah, so that's how it's
Okay.
allowed.
It's age group, so under what?
No, it's just whatever. It can be whatever.
Really?
Yeah. So it's the French and the German leagues are different. So the German leagues, it's a mix of boys and girls, like on a team, and you just compete against another lifting team. They can be any age, any weight, but how they do it is you weigh in, and then it's your body weight compared to the weights that you lift. Then it comes up with a score that you get.
Okay.
Which is good because it's like a fair way of being able to compete against guys as well as girls.
Yeah.
But with the French team, it is like girls against girls, boys against boys. It don't matter what weight you are, it's still like worked out at the same, but it's just girls against girls and boys against boys.
Okay.
That's good.
It is good that they can do it like that, because you can get like pound for pound, like you can be like a pound for pound the strongest in the competition kind of thing, can't you, for your body weight, which is good.
That's cool. Speaking of weightlifting, since we've got a background check on weightlifting from you, we're equality in weightlifting in terms of like the different sexes, and what is your opinion on the equality aspect of the female athletes competing in weightlifting?
I can't remember if I'm just making this up or if I've heard it from British Weightlifting, but at the minute, or at least last year, there is actually more female lifters that had a British weightlifting membership than males, which is interesting to know because like you wouldn't think so. You'd think that it was more of a male dominated sport. But so like in this country, it seems that the girls are kind of taking over it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good to see as well, especially in such a previous male dominant sport that females are breaking through so much. It's good to see.
Yeah, and like not only are they like there's more girls now competing, like there's more girls competing at higher levels, like whether that be like nationally or internationally.
Yeah, that could have been a CrossFit sort of thing as well, like how CrossFit brought weightlifting so popular as well. So it could have pushed a lot of people towards weightlifting because they tried weightlifting through CrossFit and realized, oh fuck, I really like this. And then
that is where most people start as well.
Is that how you started?
Yeah, that's how I started. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like the way that CrossFit kind of works with it. It's like obviously CrossFit is really intense as a sport on its own. So some people may go into it, find a new passion for the Olympic weightlifting side of it, but think, oh, CrossFit is a bit too intense for my body right now. So then they take out, I'm going to continue with the Olympic weightlifting side though, and then the kind of people build and develop from there, which is quite a good way of thinking about it and good way of looking at it.
Yeah, definitely. on the back side of that, so there's obviously more weightlifting and female athletes in weightlifting. I see you have a page that you post into quite a lot on Instagram called is it "Woman Don't Look Like That" or something like that?
Like
Or
man.
what was it? Sorry.
You look like a man.
This, right? So my whole question is about internet abuse for female athletes, which it's fucking rife at the minute. I think because maybe there is so much more female athletes, maybe that's why they're getting abused. I don't know, but just explain that page and like what it's all about.
It's basically a page that outs people on saying negative stuff to. It's not even like female athletes. It's just it could be any type of female that goes to the gym. Like and it's just people like some people are just completely out there saying you shouldn't look like this is disgusting, but then there's some people that comment like they'll say something nice but then they'll be like, but I would never want to look like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like a backhanded compliment. Yeah. And like if I ever get any on mine, like I'll out them straight away. Like I'm not one just to be like, oh, just forget about it. Like it doesn't affect me whatsoever because I really could not care less what people think of me or what I do. But like I know that it does, it will get to some
a lot of other people
out there. Yeah. So I think just like reposting it and showing that it does actually happen, because the amount of messages that I get saying I didn't actually realize this happened so often, like it's crazy. And the amount that it does, like it just shouldn't happen.
Absolutely.
Even no one cares.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially because a lot of women are really self-conscious already, and like to sort of reinforce that self-consciousness, it's pure evil. Like, and men know that as well. Men know that is probably most women's weaknesses, and they are just targeting that. It's just brutal.
The thing is though, like it's not just men. Women do it to other women
really?
At the same time. Yeah. Like obviously it is more guys that do it to females, but there is females that do it to other females as well. Like I had one on my page, this was a backhanded compliment. She was like something like, oh yeah, I really admire how much you train and stuff, but I'd never want to look like you, or I'd never want my legs to be as big as you. And you just think like that first bit was really nice, just stop there.
Yeah, well it's like you get people think you do what you do to look the way you do, and it's like looking the way that I do is a byproduct of what I do. It's not the main focus of what I'm doing.
Trying to explain that to people, like the amount of messages I get, like, oh, how do you train your legs? How do you do this? I'm like, I'm literally doing weightlifting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely brutal.
In the scheme of like what I really like this saying, I heard it recently. It's like, in 2021, the only weight you should be trying to lose is the weight of other people's opinions, and like I think that kind of it resonated with me really well, and I was like, yeah, I probably could lose a little bit of puppy fat from Christmas, but that's gonna be stop worrying about what the people think and just you do you, boo, that kind of thing.
Well, like if you're not that type of person, I can understand like how hard it is, but like when I was in school, I was one of them people, like I was so self-conscious, didn't want to talk to anyone. Like I had friends, but I never really went outside that group of friends, or I wouldn't talk to anyone unless they spoke to me. And I think actually like getting into CrossFit and getting into the gym kind of environment just builds your confidence up so much. Like I went to Body Power one year and like spoke on a stage with a microphone 10 minutes before they asked me to, which like looking back, I think that was like 2017 maybe, but in like 2015, I wouldn't have dared even walked up to someone and spoke to someone.
Yeah, it's amazing how that just came from weightlifting and progressing yourself physically.
It's mad, and it also, I think it also, because you do build that confidence, you also build that wall of like, I don't actually care what people think anymore. Like if they think what I'm doing is like not good or not something that they want to do, well, that's fair enough. That's their opinion. Like, why should I let that ruin my day?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, adding to that, like, what is your advice to people who do get the abuse? How should you deal with it, and how should you deflect it? Sort of
out them on it so they know what they're doing is wrong. Don't let them like bully you into silence. Obviously, I know some people are like that, and sometimes like I could probably keep my mouth shut about certain things, but
right, plot twist. What if it's someone that you actually are friends with, or you maybe even family? How do you deal with it that way?
So I actually had a client that messaged me. She sent me a video, and she didn't she just wanted like advice from it of what she could do better. And when I was watching it, I noticed like someone speak to her, and she like walked over to like try and hear what she was saying, because obviously in a gym you can't really hear what people are saying to you because the music's loud. So I messaged her and I was like, why did you speak to someone halfway through a lift? Because obviously I didn't think anything of it. Like, I just thought she was being distracted by one of her mates, because that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, this guy was just saying to me that I shouldn't be lifting that heavy, and maybe I should just lower the weight and go somewhere else. And I felt so bad, because she actually, like, she didn't stop what she was doing, but she just moved away from him and then carried on. But the fact that he pressured her that much to go up to her and say, you need to lower the weight, and then it made her had to move away from him.
Yeah.
And like, obviously when you see it online, there's not much that you can do, but if you actually see it being done in a gym, like, I would go and confront that person about it, saying that is not okay.
Yeah, but you'd be more forward than like girls, I'd say, in terms of like being able to out people so easily. But some people would be shy. Am I right in saying that? Like, some people would be shy and would just curl up in a ball and just take it.
Yeah, I think if you are shy about it, like, either don't say anything and like report it to the gym, or if you do want to say anything, just say, I don't think that comment was necessary.
Yeah,
and then
be
just
nice.
leave it as that. Yeah, because
I would just say some mean stuff like.
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy that is happening. That people like.
I'd go over to the biggest guy in the gym and say, "Can you go sort him out?" Because he just
no. See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you have to think, I am the biggest guy in the gym. I'll say it.
True. Yeah, just lift him up and clean jerk the fuck out of him.
I mean, because I know you did train in like JD gyms a little bit, didn't you? And like I train in JD as well, and I called someone out. Someone left a trap bar with about 220 kilo on it and walked away from it. And I was like, I wasn't going to use it. I was in the station next to him, but I went and grabbed him. I'm like, mate, you're not leaving that like that. That is ridiculous.
It's so bad. Like, I think you also, like, I'll always like strip my bar and put stuff away, but I think you also have to understand, like, it's not just females that want to use that, it's also males that are just getting into the gym. And even though it's technically proven that males are stronger than females, but there is some males out there that struggle to go to the gym and struggle to build strength. So if you've got 200 kilo on a bar, why should he then have to take all that weight off just so he can use that piece of equipment?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly. Well, that was good. We one ball. So on the next question, what do you struggle with most in terms of life as a whole, not just weightlifting, just everything?
I don't know. I feel I don't know, because I kind of feel like it all links. So like, sometimes I think I struggle with actually getting out and being sociable just because of the weightlifting side. And like, my best friend, she don't really go to the gym or anything, so like, if she does want to go on like a night out and stuff, it kind of always has to fit around me, which then makes me feel so bad, because she shouldn't have to then fit her life around me.
Absolutely. I get you. I actually watched, what was it? I was listening to a podcast with Matt Fraser on the one that he outed Rich Froning. I don't know if you've heard about it, but
No.
basically he outed Rich Froning on it. You should definitely watch it. I can't remember. I'll send you a link after. Anyway, but he was talking about how much sacrifices he had to make to get where he was now. Like, he was talking about during his first CrossFit Games or second, whenever he really realized he wanted to win. His best friend was getting married, and he couldn't even go to the stag party because he was so dedicated to his training. He said, "Look, mate, I'm sorry, but I'm not justifying anything, because this is what I want to do, but I'm not going for this reason and that's the reason only." And he, even his missus, is what do you call her? I can't remember his wife's name, but she had to make sacrifices with him to be able to move the relationship forward. But see, finding the people in your life that want to make those sacrifices with you is the most important thing you can do.
Yeah. Like, I've been friends with my best friend for like 15, 16 years now. So she's been through all of it with me, so she does know like what it means and stuff. But I can also see how it is hard to be my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Absolutely,
that's almost the point that doesn't really matter, does it? If you're friends with someone and you've got really that, we were talking about this, it's like leveling up, isn't it? It's like if you level up and then you get some friends that'll try and come up with you, and then you have some friends that'll try and bring you down to their level, and it's in whatever element of life it is, it's like you need to not be around the people that drag you down.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the analogy of all the crabs in the bucket, because if you put like 1,000,000 crabs in a bucket, they're all trying to get to the top, and as soon as one gets to the top, they'll just drag them back down like every time. So yeah, just picking your friends right and creating that circle is the best thing you can do, and especially you and your friend of 16 years, like she knows the score and you know the score, so it's good that you have that. So on the back of that, if you could tell 16-year-old Freya something to benefit her in life throughout, what would you tell her and why?
Definitely start my nutrition, get that on point. Making weight for competition would have been so much easier, but who wants an easy life?
Yeah.
Also, probably just like be a little bit organized with what you are doing. Because I think when I was 16, I used to stress out a lot, and it wouldn't be over anything, but if like things didn't really go how I wanted them to, I would just stress out and I wouldn't know what to do with myself. But like from being that age, I have learned that it's fine, just chill out, and I'm like the most chilled out person ever now. I don't really know, because from being 16 to now, it's kind of all just gone so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the journey going from CrossFit to weightlifting, and then
it all started when you were 16 as well, didn't it? You started CrossFit when you were 16?
Yeah. So I kind of literally went into that year of like, I had no expectations. I'd just finished school, so, and I knew I was going to college, so I kind of knew that was what I wanted to do, but I didn't actually know what I was doing. Like, I was just taking day by day, which is kind of what I am doing now. So to be fair, nothing's really changed, but I have had more like opportunities because of the things that I have done step by step.
Yeah, it sounds like your goal has just got clearer and clearer throughout the time until now. You know, you have a clear goal now compared to when you were 16. You were just winging it a bit more, but now you have that goal of whatever. Yeah.
Process is still similar, but the goal is a lot more clear.
Yeah, and I still want to enjoy the process. I never want it to feel like a chore, or like to get to.
Oh, absolutely, that's the whole point. Yeah, sure, for sure.
So. Yeah, but when I was 16, like I didn't even know what I was doing. So I still don't know what I'm doing, kind of. But there wouldn't be anything specific that I would say. Like, all I probably would say is just like, know that putting yourself first is fine.
Yeah.
So, but I tell myself that now anyway. So like, I still tell myself that.
Another little motivational question would be, if you could have a billboard in the middle of a city saying whatever you wanted that millions of people can see every day, what would it say and why?
I don't know specifically what it would say, but again, it would be along the lines of like, just be you and don't care what other people's opinions are. Mm-hmm. And also don't let others make you feel bad for stuff that you enjoy and that you want to do yourself, because really it's got nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
But
then that's being selfish, in it. But
I think everyone needs an element of that. Like, everyone needs to, I think it's partly about like self-love a little bit. It's about loving yourself enough to do something that you love to do, and having that kind of appreciation for yourself. If you're in a 9-to-5 job that you hate, it's not saying, okay, well, I need to leave this now, but it's like, okay, well, plan and progress your way out of something like that. It's the same.
I don't know where the stigmas came from, like this selfish aspect of selfish being bad, in terms, like, in my opinion, you have to be selfish to move forward in life. Like, if I wasn't selfish, I would never be where I am now, by any means. And if I look, there's too many people who I've talked to in the past where they regretted not being selfish at, say, maybe 18, 19, where they made the decisions based on what other people wanted, and then they're not where they wanted to be because of that decision.
Yeah, well, like since being 16, I can't even count the amount of times that I've been called selfish. And oh, it's Freya's world. It's all about Freya. But for me, it is because I am Freya.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, and I'd never make someone feel bad for doing something that in their head is right or they want to do. I don't know, but it is hard because being selfish has been made a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is a difference between being selfish because your head's massive and being selfish because it's something that something means so much to you and you just want to do it.
Yeah. It's like getting that line. It's like ego and selfish, being selfish in your ego. It's like,
we talked yesterday about our egos. How it was like one of the worst things you can have in this day and age, and how it holds you back so much. But ego and selfishness, like it's one on one, like.
Yeah.
For sure. So what is your 5-year plan? We talked about how everything's had a clear goal now. So 5 year, even 3 years, if you're so like winging it at the minute.
Seeing ahead,
You
she's
mean
like,
like
I haven't planned my lunch today yet.
5 years, oh my god, it's such a long time. But obviously, like if it was to do with weightlifting, there in the space of 5 years there is a Commonwealth Games, and then at the end of that there is an Olympic Games. I think 5 years.
Yeah.
It should work out like that. Obviously they're like the biggest goals that I have like in my life right now.
Yeah.
I have been to a Commonwealth, but for this next one the plan is to medal.
Yeah.
And then obviously we don't know if we're going to be in the Olympics, but hopefully fingers crossed we are.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Because it's a lot of like dependent on age as well, because your peaking age, if the way it lines up with the years to come, will you be peaking at the Olympics, do you think? Or
I should do, because I'll be around that. I don't know how old I'll be. Like I'll be like 28, around that age. So, and usually it's around like 20. Well, from going off the girls that are already like competing for the Olympics and stuff, they're around about that age.
So it should line up perfectly.
It should, yeah. But obviously everyone's different, so I'm hoping to peak for the Commonwealth Games and then peak for the Olympics. But obviously there is competitions within each year that I do want to compete in. Like I haven't been to a European Seniors yet, so that was my goal for this year.
How many competitions is it like? Are you supposed to compete in weightlifting per year? Is there like a set amount that comfortable?
They say it's usually around 6, but it depends what level you're at. And like I compete for 2 lifting leagues, so that puts another like 10 competitions on top.
Yeah.
So like there was one year where I did like the English, the British, the under 23s British, the European under 23s, and then I had like 5 German comps and 5
in 1 year.
French. Honestly, yeah, it was mad. There was one year where like for the whole from like October to April, I was just like weren't in this country. It was mad. There was 1 month, I think it might have been November. So I competed like at the start of the month, and then I had a week off, and then I competed again the next week, then the following week, then I had a week off, and then I was back competing again. And I was just like, how am I doing this? Like, what?
It's amazing. Like,
how you got a question there as well. How are you doing that? Like normally, like obviously there's a season, but it sounds like the entire year was your season there.
Yeah, in weightlifting there isn't really a season. You kind of take the time off when you have that time off.
Yeah.
Which is usually just a week after a big competition. Obviously your training differs anyway. So like if you're not really building to anything, you can either work on technique or do a little strength block.
Yeah.
But there isn't really seasons because the competitions fall throughout the year anyway.
Yeah. What is your biggest achievement that you've had in weightlifting so far?
This is a hard one, and loads of people ask me this, like when I put questions up on my Instagram. But it's going to the Commonwealth Games because like, even though I didn't medal, growing up, I watched gymnastics, and gymnastics has always been in the Olympics and the Commonwealth Games. So I, like, when I was little, my dream was always to be a gymnast at the Commonwealth Games or at the Olympics. Turns out that weren't my plan.
Well, you might still go to the Olympics, so it's okay.
Yeah, but as a weightlifter, not as a gymnast. I wanted to go as a gymnast.
Just sort of sneak onto the floor, put your leotard on, and just do a wee couple of tumbles.
Well, I was gonna say, like, some of the stuff that you put on your Instagram is like crazy. Like watching you lift what you do 1 minute, and then the next second you're doing handstand shit. It's like, my God.
Yeah,
It's
well,
really cool to see.
honestly, like, I think gymnastics has just been, well, my mum was a gymnast. So I grew up just being a gymnast because that's what my mum did. And I'm a really competitive person. So whatever stage my mum got to in gymnastics, I wanted to beat it.
Yeah.
And I did, and then I quit.
Oh, you're evil. You just wanted to prove a point.
He did like the
Yeah, exactly. You got to, haven't you?
the Eddie
But I
Hall
think-
thing, didn't he? He won the world's strongest man. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah. But I think because I did do it for so long, like, it's always got that little place in my heart where I don't ever want it to leave. And like, I still enjoy watching the gymnastics and doing the gymnastics. My coach doesn't agree, but
I
like,
think
if I went back to gymnastics now, I'd be such a better gymnast than I ever was. 100%.
Yeah.
I think that it's gymnastics. It's one of them. I've seen a lot of people that come from like gymnastics background and go into doing other things, and they build such good foundations throughout doing gymnastics, like the body weight strength and the flexibility work and stuff like that. That it sets you up perfectly as like a baseline and building your foundation to then potentially go on to do something else a little bit further down the line. Which
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I guess like Alex Smith, he's a perfect example. Like how like he came from gymnastics and he came in a perfect athlete. Like
yeah.
Well, from going from gymnastics into CrossFit, I could do all, like, I could not being big-headed or anything, but when the coach said, oh, this is a pull-up, this is a toes to bar, this is a muscle-up, I was like, oh, well, I can already do all that. I just never touched a barbell in my life.
Yeah.
So
you could technically, if you stuck at CrossFit, you could be like quite Olympic standard. The same. You're just
I'd have to get
basically
my
the perfect
fitness up.
athlete. You're just the perfect athlete. Like
Yeah,
all
well,
around.
I think you've got the main base there is like of what you'd say for any kind of athlete, really, especially in like when it comes to gym-based sports in a sense. It's like the functional bodyweight strength and then the actual barbell technicality stuff is like you say, the perfect gym-based athlete. If the gym was an Olympic sport, you'd be class at it.
you never know if weightlifting gets chucked out of the Olympics. Everyone knows where I'll be going.
I can honestly see the CrossFit going in the Olympics eventually, like for sure.
Oh, can you?
100%. Skateboards in it this year. If that's in it, then I
actually.
think CrossFit.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was gonna say, well, how would because obviously it'd have to be something like the games where there were multiple events for it, but I guess there's multiple like events in gymnastics.
Dave Castro just pulling the strings as usual. So we're nearing the end of a podcast. What time are we on now, Adam? We're
50
up to
minutes.
50.
So
That's pretty good. So
the big thing.
The main event, the moment we've all been waiting for, the embarrassing story of Fraer Morrow. This is what we do, and any guest that's coming on, this is obviously you're always your first guest, but every guest that's going to come on, it's the number one rule is embarrassing story, because the whole podcast is all about normalizing life and normalizing embarrassing situations to make you feel more comfortable in your skin and make other people more comfortable learning from other people's mistakes they've made. So yeah, take it away, Fraer.
To be fair, I haven't got many because I don't nothing really embarrasses me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like some people like get so like defensive and so like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just done that. But like, it's life. Like no one's gonna do everything perfect. I think like with weightlifting, and many of girls can probably say this, but they've done a lift and like weed a little bit.
Yeah. On stage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like obviously you can't really tell.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching, but you know it's happened, and then when you've still got to do a jerk, it's like, oh god.
Do you know as soon as it happens? Do you know that it's happened?
Yeah, 100%. Like especially when you're squatting as well, and you're like, why? Why is this happening to me?
Do you know what? It's like the perfect story for like normalizing, like, because
Yeah, like normalising
Honestly,
people doing it in the
you
gym.
can't help it. It's
Yeah.
one of those things.
And
Natural.
I feel like that is a thing that girls would be embarrassed about, but like it happens and you can't stop it.
Yeah, well,
Um,
it's obviously it's baffling to us because I think it's more of a thing to do with probably the pressure and gravity, but it's like
Maybe.
for like guys, obviously we never have that issue,
No,
so
yeah,
it's something
yeah.
that we never
Honestly,
even think about.
yeah. Obviously, don't ask someone because they might get embarrassed. But like,
Oh no, I'm asking everyone. I'm going to ask everyone now.
Do you
It's
wee
really
when
my
you
thing.
squat?
I am Rob. You just go.
if someone's in the gym and like you see them do a squat and then they like laugh a little bit underneath
Yeah.
or like get a bit embarrassed, that's why. That's probably why.
I
A wee
can
quick
just
run to the toilet.
I can just imagine though, like say you're on that Commonwealth stage, you've just done like a really really heavy clean, sat in the bottom of the squat, and you just see like you smile. I'm gonna watch that on TV and be like, I know what's happened.
Yeah, and there'll be like really nice pictures, and they'll be like, "Oh, look how much she's smiling! She's enjoying it so much." But you guys will know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
I tell you what is embarrassing, and this is to be fair, my coach won't be embarrassed about this, so it'll be fine with telling you. But he was running a seminar once, and he thought he'd get a training session in before. I don't know if you know who my coach is. It's called Giles Greenwood.
No, I don't
Okay,
know.
He did compete for GB, and he got a Commonwealth Games medal, and I want that. You know, because he's my coach. You kind of want to.
Is that new
I'll do
the mum figure in? It's like I just
Yeah,
want to
it
do
is,
it. I'll quit when I beat him.
So, and obviously, like if you do a seminar, usually people turn up earlier than it starts anyway. And he was doing some heavy squats, and he shit himself on one of them. I weren't even embarrassed. I finished my set off, walked into the bathroom, got changed, and started my seminar.
No way. That's mad.
So, yeah.
I've
To be fair,
seen-
whenever I'm lifting, if I post it on Instagram or anything, like people who don't know anything about lifting or anything always message and saying, do you not ever feel like you're gonna like shit yourself?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you know what? No.
No.
Only time I ever get that. Do you ever do like sit in the bottom of a squat for like more than 10 minutes? That's like that's danger time. That's when you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No,
Well, that was
that was
that's all
awesome.
my questions up. Like, yeah, really
Yeah.
good. I hope everyone enjoyed that. It's good to know Freya a bit more because it's going to be working with Hybrid Academy hopefully in the future. So, yeah. Adam, anything to say?
Yeah, well, it's awesome having you on, and I think that obviously as you get further down your journey, it'd be awesome to have you back on as well. We might have some more embarrassing stories and more more kind of news and stuff on the whole Commonwealth journey, Olympic journey, which all sounds absolutely awesome for it all sounds awesome from like our point of view hearing it here. And I think you've been an awesome first guest. I think we've nailed.
Started off with a bang.
A virtual high five, guys. We've nailed that one.
Unreal. Sure, take care, Freya, and I hope you all the best for the future and
Thank you.
loads of medals, and look forward to working with you.
Yeah.
You too.
Sweet.
Thanks for having me on.
Right, guys, that was absolutely awesome having Freya on. If there's any other guests that you want us to have on, then just message me and Rob, and we'll try and sort it out the best we can. But we've got some other guests coming on in the future. We've got a few little people lined up, which will be absolutely awesome as well, won't it, mate? Is there anything you want to say before we wrap everything up?
No, I'm still I'm still coming down from the whole interview thing because it was like a first podcast jitters again. Like I was shaking.
Yeah.
Well,
Getting them nerves going.
it was good though. It felt good, and I'm looking forward to doing much more.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was good, and like I say, it's showing people in like a normal light, which I think podcasts do in general anyway, and that's what the whole point of what normalising life is. But we want to go that step further and like see the fact that these shit that happens to everybody happens to everybody. Never mind if they're a top level athlete, if they're an Instagram influencer with
absolutely
thousands of followers.
This is
like,
this is why
all
I
this shit
asked.
happens to everyone.
This is why I asked more like personal questions. Like I'm sure she's used to getting asked questions about weightlifting and stuff like that from every podcast she's been on. But I want to know what she struggles with. I want to know like that internet abuse with female athletes. Like I want everyone to know this shit. So people can normalize it and people can understand that they can fight back and that sort of aspect of things. So I definitely think we've nailed that.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a rating if you are watching on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that would be absolutely awesome. If you are on YouTube, give the video a like. Make sure you subscribe as well. Follow for all of our new podcasts. If you follow me and Rob on Instagram, you will know all the news about all of the new podcasts and whatnot coming up as well. And we post some great content, don't we, mate? So they might as well do that.
Well,
anyway.
mostly you. I just post videos of me lifting stuff.
Yeah, guys, so that is everything. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.